Because I'm like, I'm not arrogant. I don't think I'm the world's best game designer. I don't think I'm a great game designer. But I do think I'm a person. And as part of that definition, I can have an opinion.
Have you ever thought, though, that you've gone too far? Have you ever gone back and said, hey, maybe I'm just, I'm too overexposed, I'm too much out there? Because I know with your blog, there's been a couple times you've disappeared from your blog. You pulled back from the blog once, you came back, then you went away again, and now you're back.
Like I said, the minute it hurts the games, absolutely. Right. So far, and this will be a good test because, as you know, right now I'm really focused on downloadable games, which only take 8 to 12, 13 months to make. And so I'm going to be putting games out a lot more frequently now than God of War, which had these, big 3-year gaps between Twisted Metal Black and God of War, or even Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal Black. Right. Now, the next game I have out will be out in 12 months or 13 months after Calling All Cars, right? Yeah. So if it turns out that it's like the reason people aren't enjoying the work that we do is because either they don't like me or they're tired of seeing me, of course I'll go away. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's always fun to be interviewed and people ask what you think. That's cool, But the reality of it is ultimately I'm here to get people to know about the stuff that we're working really hard on, and I want them to play our games. And if it turns out that I've crossed some line somewhere that gets in the way of them enjoying our product, absolutely. But I'd like to think that the games that we make are going to be good enough that ultimately at the end of the day, they're going to feel, whether they like me or hate me, they're going to be aware of what we're doing. And then they're going to feel like, hey, you know what? I don't like that Jaffe guy, but this is fun. I'm having a good time. I feel that I've gotten my money's worth. And even if they're Jaffe lovers or Jaffe haters, the reality of it is I want them all to be happy if they spend money on our product. Right. And so that really is ultimately what guides everything that we do.
But you have a lot of fans, I think, that are very hardcore guys that loved God of War, loved Twisted Metal, and they look at something like Calling All Cars, and they sort of say, excuse my French, what the fuck is this? And I think you posted on your blog, Kotaku had done I think they posted a clip from GDC, and there were all these guys in the comments, and I think in your blog, you said, a lot of the comments said, what the fuck is this? This looks like cell damage shit. And it's sort of like there are these people that aren't willing even to sort of try and look at the product. They're just sort of saying, like, what is this? I wouldn't want to play this. Like, this is not a Jaffe game. Yeah. What do you have to say to those people? I mean, they come across as a bit arrogant in a way that they haven't played the game, but it's sort of like, why is Jaffe wasting his time making these kind of games?
Somebody mentioned to me on my blog, he says, you need to get back in the saddle, Jaffe. You're still young. You need to go back to making these big games. And when I wrote back to him, I says, I am in the saddle, but I put the saddle on a different horse. And it's like, I'm so okay with it's like
everyone keeps asking you these questions. About
this. I'm like,
why are
get this through your head.
But it's also like you're going from God of War to now saying on your blog like you're competing against Bookworm.
Yeah, Bookworm's a great game. Bookworm is one of the best games that came out that year. It's addictive, awesome, fun.
That's a big switch. I mean, it's a different audience almost too, right?
In some ways, I think ultimately I'm still doing action stuff. I mean, Calling All Cars is an action game. It's not a little casual PC game for soccer moms. It's fast, it's frantic. It has a lot in common with, like I've said in the past, NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, things like that. The whole thing, though, about it keeps coming up. It's like, some of it I think is just the fact that it's like, I mean, my wife the other day, she says, do you feel these kind of games are a risk?
Yeah.
And I said, to me, the risk is not doing this.
She's starting to get worried.
No. She's very supportive of it, actually, because I think I had said something. I'm not going to get into the whole conversation, but the gist of it was, well, do you think it's a risk? And I'm like, you know what the funny thing is? I said, this is the only path that's illuminated to me. It's like everything else feels like you're drowning.
So you've never regretted the idea of leaving that stuff, but you don't look at like God of War 2 and say, man, it's like I blew it, I should have done it.
No way. Okay. I am proud of Corey. I'm proud of that team. I think they did a great job. But it's like I have climbed that mountain. I know what it feels like. I've gotten the accolades. I've gotten everything you can get from being on top of that mountain. And the saddest thing to me would be to spend another 5 years just struggling to stay on that mountain versus trying to find other mountains to climb. And so if Calling All Cars crashes and burns and these small games don't work for me, maybe I'll just keep banging my head against the wall and trying to get them to work until I retire, or I'll find something else. But that's so much better to me than basically, just living your life doing the same thing over and over and over. I just can't. I couldn't do it. That would make me sick inside.
Excellent. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about Calling All Cars and what's in the future for David Jaffe. When the bonus round returns, Jaffe just keeps going. Find out why he's had second thoughts about the theme of Calling All Cars.
We want to be able to take more chances, and it's like, good Lord, this game costs under $1 million. We're selling it for under $10. If you can't take a chance, either play-wise or thematically in that space, then we're just done. I mean, how sad is that?
Could he soon start his own independent game studio?
The specific way to get to that destination is sort of under discussion right now.
And so much more. Part 2 of Jaffe Unleashed continues next Sunday in the bonus round.